All right, I think we are live.
Are we live?
I
Yeah!
think so. Let
I'm
me
actually gonna pull
see.
up the Facebook so that I can see if we are.
Okay.
Oh yeah, just now. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're live. Hi.
Great. Hello, everybody. Oh, yep. And we're definitely live on Instagram.
Hi, friend.
How's it going?
We had some technical
Yeah,
difficulties. We are here at 10:11 a.m. Central Time, which is what every graphic told you was going to happen.
exactly.
Oh my gosh.
We are
Well, we're
just,
excited to be here.
yes, we are excited to be here. We're excited to have this conversation with you. And Um, yeah, it's going to be great. I think it's just a needed conversation and something that we're seeing amongst people that we need to merge this conversation when it comes to burnout and neurodivergent family support and caregiving.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. I raise my hand in that.
yeah, yeah, me too. Me too.
Right, exactly. We would like to start by saying we are a product of our own methods,
Yes, yeah. I
which
was gonna
is a
say we
good
have
thing.
lived experience
Yes.
in both arenas, I guess, of both topics.
Mhm.
Um, but we are at a place where we can share and support
Yeah.
and um, weave in. We're both researchers, so we can weave in our research. Like a benefit to both of us is that we love to research stuff.
Yeah. I
So,
just wish that I had the ability to do like the like clap hands or like emojis right now because I'm like, yes, 100%,
yes,
100%.
yes, yes. So we've looked at a lot of research over the years as we've lived through different experiences, and we just want to have a conversation with you today. So we're so thankful for you being here
Yeah.
with us. And please, we'd love for you to engage no matter what platform you're on. If you're on Instagram, Facebook, or Substack, we should be streaming to all three. So please get to the comments, engage. We will do our best to engage with you. And if not, we will engage after we talk.
Yeah, we will come back. We
Yes.
will come back and we will talk with you. So please, if I was even thinking, like, especially if there are any real live lived experiences that you'd like to share in the chat of, like, okay, when you said this, it reminded me of this thing that we deal with in my household every single day. Like anything that you're just like, yes, that is something that we deal with, that we work on in my household, or that's something I'm struggling with right now. This is a really, I know you're on the internet. I know you're in social media. We understand that. So also that may be like a private message situation, and that's totally fine. Message us at See the Wonder
Yes.
or one of us directly. But also, if it's a comfortable space to do so, we invite you to put those examples in the chat, just as if you were in like a Facebook group for caregivers of neurodivergent children or high achieving humans that are burnt out, just like you would do there, where you would share something and then others would come in to support you. We'd love to do that in the comment section
Yes.
of both wherever we're streaming and you see us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. We would love to engage because this is a conversation. It's a collective
Yeah.
conversation that Lauren and I are having, but we're having this conversation with you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's
You
jump
want to
in.
tell about See the Wonder real quick in case someone's not
Yeah.
familiar?
Yes, if you are not familiar with See the Wonder, hello, I am Tiffany, and I created See the Wonder actually out of my own burnout experience because I wanted a balance of and a rhythm of work and life where I could take care of myself and have a business. We are a mental health and wellness company where we specialize in burnout and compassion fatigue. We have multiple areas. I'm a multi passionate person, so we have multiple areas of how we support people. And we're really excited to bring Lauren in under our burnout coaching and to have her be an neurodivergent family coach. So we are expanding and growing. We've been around since 2021. Lauren has played many roles in supporting See the Wonder, and kind of my tagline for See the Wonder lately has been that when we observe the awe and wonder in the world, that's the beginning of healing.
Oh,
And so that's
I
how
love
we
that.
start healing and growing, is from that place of taking a step back and observing around us. And so that's an important part of feeling supported and grounded. And
Yeah,
part
there's
of,
no one better at noticing the all around us than you, the
oh,
wonder, like being in awe of the wonder around us, etc., than you. You have been doing that since the day I met you naturally, and then you have grown more fully into the presence of that as has been required of you more and more over the years.
yeah.
And so you're the best person in my world to teach and guide on that. So I obviously love that you named the company that, and that that's at the heart of it.
Oh, well, thank you. And I was going to say, it's been our practice to navigate it and get better at it and
Mm-hmm.
allow it to be a tool of healing. So
Yeah,
thanks.
you've been such a big part of doing that, for me as well. And actually, through the years, what people don't know
Yeah.
is that we have traded services multiple
Yes.
times
Yes, we
where
have.
it actually paid each other in full. So, actually,
Yeah.
technically not, but in essence, been like, hey, I'm going to pay you for this service and you're going to pay me for this service. And what's been
Yes.
amazing is we have been in real life besties, but we also have been
Yes.
business besties. And
We have.
in that, we've been able to do something that is very rare in friendship. And that is for me to trust you to teach me about burnout, and for you to allow me to guide you in different things as well, whether that was in branding to start with or marketing, or even now in really guiding and navigating some of the areas of expertise I have in
Mhm.
neurodivergent family
Yes.
life, and what that's like, and what the families that I'm around and are guiding now are dealing with. And so it's just really amazing that we've been able to go back and forth. So
Yeah. No, I
grateful for
really
you.
love it. Yes, I'm grateful for you too. I'm grateful for you too. Okay, so let's get into it. Like,
Yeah.
why are we talking about this? Why are we talking
Yeah.
about burnout and neurodivergent family caregiving? One, it's because they're connected.
Yeah.
Often the conversation is like, "Oh, you're burnt out. Let's talk about it over here. Oh, you need support for
Mhm.
your family because something is up with your child, but you're not exactly sure what it is, or maybe you just realized or was given a diagnosis or given some education around your child being neurodivergent. It's like, oh my gosh, well, what do I do? How do I parent? What does this look like? How do I support my child? It's a natural inclination to be like, okay, how do I support him? What do
Yeah.
I do? But the conversation is often separated.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, yes,
Yes.
and amen to everything you
Yes.
just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the child. I'll just go ahead and say the child being the at the forefront of our minds. If a child is involved, especially a child of ours that is like just in the beginning stages of their developmental life, and or as many unfortunately deal with later in life, they're then recognizing, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for so long, I'm burnt out, and they're already getting close to like 16, 17. So this age range of your child can really be vast, along with the fact that we're not just talking to parents. You may be the guardian or caregiver, you may be a grandparent that's taking care of a child, you may be an actual paid caregiver that's there every day in and day out with an adolescent, a youth. And so we just want to connect these dots, because you may be at the beginning or you may be further along in your journey. Either way, and I'm going to ask you as the burnout expert, Tiffany,
Yeah.
my assumption is, because also my experience is, that you can hit burnout multiple times.
Oh, yes, definitely. And
So it may not be your first time. It probably isn't your last time. So this just goes hand in hand.
yeah, for sure. And often what I see in the people that I work with is that they're high achievers. They are helpers by nature. So high achiever, if you look at the research, talking about research, high achievers, helpers, we often tend to be, not always, but I'll say this for myself, highly sensitive people. So we have this extra level of compassion that can be an emotional load.
Yeah.
And so, as a high achiever, as a helper, we just keep going. We keep pushing through because of the cause, because we're passionate.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of what I'm hearing when we're on the brink of the burnout is, I'm tired, or
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard, but
Yeah.
I am so tired, or I can't figure it out, or I can't, I just feel like I'm just going in circles, or I'm just treading and my head is like just barely above water and I don't know what to do.
Literally.
Like I had somebody tell me recently, they're like, I think my chin is underwater and I'm just kind of lifting my head up a little bit is what it feels like. And I thought that was such a
Yeah.
good thought because I was like, sometimes that's what it feels like, but we don't necessarily equate it to burnout. We say, I'm tired, I'm trying, but what I'm telling you is that you're on the brink you are in the middle of burnout when you're starting to feel that way.
Yeah. The middle of it. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you said the beginning or the middle. Explain that. Like, so you could be so you're literally like this, but you think you could be at the beginning or the middle. So tell us more about that because you know what
Yeah.
that looks like.
So sometimes the verbiage of I'm trying and I'm tired is like right the acknowledgement. So like maybe it's like I'm beginning to notice it
Okay.
versus sometimes we're in the middle of it because it's so normalized
Mm-hmm.
and it's hidden. And so you've been in it for a long time, and then you come to this acknowledgement of like, I am so tired. I have
Yeah.
been trying. I just push. That's my own story. I'll say that. I grabbed onto the thought and said, it's going to get better. But every time I kept saying it's going to get better, it got worse. But I wasn't recognizing this was burnout. I was saying, I got to fix it, or it's just anxiety, or it's just this hard situation. I have to figure it out and learn all
Push
the
through.
things. Yeah, I got to push through because that's what I do. And I'm loyal and I'm going to research and figure it out. But the reality is like, um, what my therapist told me, this moment is always like huge in my mind. She's like, Tiffany, when's it going to get better? And it was a light bulb of like, it's not. It's not going to get
Yeah.
better unless I start making decisions and get the support that I need.
Yeah. And it makes me want to point out that you're speaking as someone who is high achieving, who used to be extremely high capacity
Yes.
until you dealt with some health issues and
Yeah.
different things that you experienced caused that to lower. And I can relate to that story as well. Always extremely high capacity. I was always the first one in, the last one out. There in crunch time, the winging it, queen it.
Yeah.
Maybe I should say that I was the queen of wing it. I don't know. Anyway, because I could just come in clutch. And so that mentality of growing up that way, we won't get into the depths of what that's your other side of your business is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
clinical side. So the other side of See the Wonder is clinical therapy. So there's a plug.
Yeah.
But living in that state for so long, that was before I had a child. That was before I was questioning whether I was neurodivergent. That was before my husband was diagnosed as being neurodivergent. This is before all of that. That's who I was. And not some people's stories will be then they had a kid
Yeah.
that was neurodivergent, and then
Yeah.
they maybe realized they were neurodivergent, or so on and so forth. There are also scenarios where, like ours, where something else hit us, like our health hit us 1st.
Yeah.
And then, we realize our spouse or whoever is neurodivergent. So your story is going to be unique, and that's key here. However, the commonality is that if you are someone who has been known to be inside of your mind and or by others as high capacity, high achieving, I'm the one that pushes through, I'm the one that comes in clutch, your burnout is most likely invisible to
Yeah.
many around you. Versus, let's talk about the other side just to touch on it.
Sure.
When we talk about burnout as a society, what we think of is under the covers in bed. They're burnt out, they're done, they're just scrolling Instagram all the time, right? Because they're escapism, right? They're escaping. Like, that's not you, the person we're talking to. That's not the person that we're connecting this with today, because that's a different type of person. That person is valued and amazing, and we value who they are. That's not who we're talking about. We're talking about the burnout that looks invisible, where you keep showing up to PTA meetings.
Yes.
Even though, and even somehow taking on more with a good heart, with good intention, and yet, you actually have that like nervous twitch, right? You got the eye that's jumping, you've got the crash and burn on the weekend here and there, because you've done it all until you've done it too long and too hard.
Yeah, and that's, as I said, the hidden load. That's what you're talking about. It's often invisible. It's, it's the meltdowns you're dealing with. It's the provider notes. It's the decision making. Talking about decision fatigue is something huge Lauren and I talk about, but also the people that we work with and are in our lives, we hear about decision fatigue often. And there's so much that can go underneath that, but that is something that we can chalk up to as like, well, we just got to do it. We just got to do it.
It's me or it's who.
Yeah.
Like,
who else is going to do that?
Me? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And even when you have a strong partner or someone in your house that, it's some people do, some people don't, we've got single moms here, single parents. We're talking to, there's not a demographic that this is specifically geared towards in that sense. This is just more of who you are is relating to, like, you're still showing up. You're still doing the research. We were talking about research and I'm like, looking at my notes. I'm like, you're still doing the research to find out about that next stage of their development. And like, where is the typical, where is the not, the neurodivergent side of that, like non-typical behaviors and development. And you're already thinking ahead, even though in this moment, like, you can't even sit still without being anxious.
Yeah.
The nervous system capacity is literally at that level. And level of water,
Right. And all the while, all the while I'm still up, and you're saying, I'm fine. I'm fine. If you're here, I do this odd trainings, but if you're here and you're listening to this or you're listening to the replay, if you say, I'm fine, it's fine. I'm fine. Please, like, raise your hand in the comments. Put your hand up. I'll put mine up, because often I would say, it's fine. I'm fine. But that phrase also is a bypass of what you're actually feeling, of like, I'm not really fine. I am fine. It's going to be fine. I can't change the situation fine. So I have to show up and do this, but I am irritated. I am resentful. I am foggy headed. And that's what burnout looks like in a high achiever, is that we function anyways. A phrase,
short-tempered.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Your fuse is like super short. You're snapping at everybody. I think of somebody that I worked with a while ago. They were like, I just started snapping at everybody, and I don't know why. I'm not a snappy person. I'm like, oh, well, let's look at it. And we realized during looking at what was going on is that her capacity to handle situations, like, her brain and her body was not able to handle more, and she was feeling resentful because she had to handle more. And then the irritation is like your body and your brain saying, I can't handle more, so I'm going to be irritated and angry at everything because I actually have to deal with all of this.
Well, and you're talking about the burnout side, and let's switch over real quick and talk about a little more about where that comes from. And I know for me, years ago, it started besides what had happened, with my health and such before my sweet Neo, my hilarious Neo, came into my life. I have a 6-year-old neurodivergent child. He's going to be 7, not too long. He's going on 45. And he is 2E. We haven't talked about that yet. Twice exceptional. which means he is gifted and he has developmental delays. And specifically, we might qualify that as like gifted and ADHD, gifted and ASD. He's on the autism spectrum. Some people might say gifted and OCD or gifted and dyslexic. Like we've got a range of neurodivergent, dual side of that 2E scenario. And that dissonance between gifted, like the boy, the day after school ended, came and brought us math problems to do. Like, hey, mom, hey, dad, it's 7 a.m. I made math problems for you to do. Like, thank you. Thank you so much for that. We would love to do math at 7 a.m. on the first day of summer. That would be great. Like you're talking about that side, right? A lot of us have children that are 2E, that are twice exceptional, that have this, but they also have behavioral situations that they are overstimulated in and just atypical. Yes. And when you've got the distance between that, or their focus is struggling, or, for instance, I'm using him as an example because he does really well in school in classroom school, academics. But when it comes to test taking, it's a totally different scored system because the concept of sitting there and doing that the way that it's done does not work for his brain. And yet he's literally teaching me algebra again, So, yeah. And I say all that to say, as a personal example, that you may be working with, and you as in anyone who's watching this, that maybe from the beginning and or realized it later, like my kid is dealing with agitation, they're dealing with behavioral issues, they're dealing with boredom, they're dealing with being held back in school. Yeah. They're dealing with having to be picked up from school a lot. They're dealing with school avoidance. Mm-hmm. We're trying to decide whether to homeschool them or not. There's a lot of different things that are happening, sometimes at the beginning in pre-K and sometimes in first or second grade, etc., where you're like, I have no idea what to do next. And so you're hyper vigilant, which is where I was, of figuring out, how do I help my child? Yeah. And so I'm looking for the answers everywhere. And yes, I'm getting pieces, right? Because we are research, right? We are high achievers. I'm like, I'm going to figure this out. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I know this person who I can ask this question to. I'm going to ask his pediatrician this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask for referrals for this, for this, for this. My insurance covers this, doesn't cover this. Like there's just there's so many questions and a lot of effort to find the answers and really a path forward. And my burnout in neurodivergent parenting a few years ago came from that, first and foremost, which was, I feel like my husband and I'll just say for myself, I am the lead of Neo's future. Like if I don't stay locked in, then Neo's going to fall by the wayside, as I've seen other kids unfortunately do, and get misunderstood. And so I stayed hypervigilant. I became burnt out. And then I chose to enter into community. Segue.
Yes. And I wanted to touch on what you said about being hypervigilant, because you can become, whether you're in Lauren's situation and you're hypervigilant about your child's future and having to ask all the questions and advocate and navigate everything that's going on, you can also be hypervigilant in the load that you're carrying. Going back to the invisible load, what happens when we have a lot of stress on it and we want to do these things for the good of our family, for the good of the kids, for the good of ourselves, to have answers, to know what to do next, we flip ourselves into this hyper aware state, and our bodies and our brains are never designed to stay in that state. And so when it comes to burnout and like nervous system capacity, your emotional load, like we think we're supposed to operate in this state because we have to keep it together. We have to figure it out. We have to have a plan of moving forward. but our bodies and brains were never designed to be in that state. That hyper alert state is for when we're actually in danger. You know, the common example in my field is like the bear. You face the bear, and you're like, whoo, adrenaline's pumping, you're in that hyper aware state, you're like, okay, I gotta get out of here. You're fight, flight, or freeze. And then we come back down once we're safe. But when you're navigating all these different things in life, you stay up there.
And even at night.
Yep. Oh yeah. That's why
even when you're trying to sleep.
Yep.
I love how your screen's going back and forth. It's making it even more dramatic with what you're saying. You're like,
I'm like, I don't even know how to like change that, but it's doing it.
I actually love it because I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how you're like, fight or flight. No, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I just want to, but even it just cracked me up. But even when you're asleep, yes, you're still at that level, and that's shown to be true, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can look at research and brainwaves and studies and all that kind of stuff to look at that, because physical rest is actually not enough. You can rest and still feel tired. There's many times when I was in the height of my burnout, I went to bed exhausted and woke up exhausted, even though I did sleep for 7 to 8 hours at night. And it was because my brain was continually on this hyper alert state. And again, our brains and our bodies, I cannot emphasize this enough, like our brains and bodies were not designed to stay in that. That's where, not to go too deep on this other topic, but that's where like chronic illness, that's where health issues, that's where my health issues.
That's invisible burnout also. So
yeah,
yes,
exactly. And so if you look at the study, I've been looking at a lot of studies and research around like, when does that happen? How does that happen? And I'm still kind of like looking at it. But again, our nervous system is not supposed to be hyper alerted all the time. It's only when we are in unsafe situations. And so we have to learn to teach it. And that's part of the work that we do, is to help teach you come down from that, knowing that it's still safe to come down. I have an article, I think I just put a podcast out about how stillness is hard. So if you want to go over to Substack and do that, and also about the 7 types of rest.
Yes, I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I love what you say about that. Yes.
Yeah. So go over to Substack if we can. We'll link it below. Because I have a series about rest, and I talk about the 7 types of rest, because physical rest doesn't help with if you're needing the other types of rest. So
yeah. And I am that person that every once in a while I thought my dog had come in from outside, so I heard something and I'm like, did it come in? I don't know. I can just hear it. Can you hear?
A little bit, but it's not
a little
too,
bit.
yeah.
Sorry if it's distracting. Right. But what I was gonna say is, I got to the point where, and I still do, like I said, this is not like, just because we may have more expertise now in training and licensure and like in all of these different ways to now guide others, doesn't mean that as women, especially, and caretaker naturally, that we're going to never face burnout again. Right. And like, for instance, I know that I am facing that when I fall asleep and I'm sleeping more and more and more, like hours. Let's say Sheldon, my husband, takes over on a Saturday morning, takes Neo out to the park or whatever. And I just try to keep going back to sleep because I'm waking up, right? Like I'm waking up and I'm like, let me go back to sleep. I could do that for, let's pretend, 15 hours straight. And I most likely would, if I'm in that burnout state, will wake up, like you said, and be like, okay, all right, well, I'm still anxious, or I'm still wanting to get into research mode, or I'm still, well, now that they're gone, well, let me get into some work, let me figure some things out I haven't had time for yet, instead of being like one of the other types of rest that maybe I need more. And so, I definitely want to plug that 7 types of rest that you've written about. It is very, very important. And it's been super helpful for me. So I think
and me too, because I default in that too, that I got to do something. I need to do something. That's what a lot of people tell me when we start talking about stillness and rest and what that looks like. But it's like, but I got to do something. I feel anxious. I need to do something. You have been wired that way, not just individually, but like culturally, maybe in your family, you have doers in your family. And so you've learned that doing is normal. and that sometimes it's connected to identity, productivity. It's connected to accomplishment, how I feel about myself when I'm accomplishing things. And so that's kind of a belief that kind of undertones this doing, like, I got to do, but we do ourselves into burnout.
And I see that show up with neurodivergent parents, that they're still signing their kids up for every single opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say community autism groups and I'm supportive of those. I want to support those.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying don't. However, I see that where it's that, like, well, my kid is not having these typical experiences that other kids have. So I'm going to sign them up for absolutely everything that's out there and show up for it no matter how I'm feeling. And guess what? The way we're feeling transfers down into our children too. So no matter how many things we do for them, or we send them to, or we show up with them at, they are still, especially hypersensitive humans, and a lot of our children in that scenario they're going to feel our burnout as well. And they're already having to manage their sensitivities and emotional regulation. We're wanting to be a stable force for them. And I think one of the things that comes with wanting to do for them is that guilt of like being enough for them.
Yes.
And feeling so dysregulated ourselves on the inside, and wondering if that's coming out on the outside, and wondering if we're worsening the problem. And so let's make up for that by doing, instead of really, truly, I love that I have a clinical therapist on this call with me, but like facing it, like facing our own actual dysregulation, and finding, instead of coping mechanisms that maybe are unhealthy, learning from those who have gone before and trained on what actually are the healthy ways to cope with that ourselves. It will filter into the children. It will filter into our spouses and our marriages and our relationships, our siblings, etc. They will feel the difference in us when we also prioritize ourselves, which I know you also wanted to comment on.
Yes, I'm like, yeah. Yes. I say, I used to, so I don't work with kids as much these days in the therapeutic space, but I did 6 years of working with kids. And what I would tell the parents is that if you support yourself, if all that's all you do, if that's all you can do, if that's all you have capacity is to get some support and help yourself, your child's going to be better because of it. Your child's going to have there's going to be some breakthrough and support and healing in your child just because you are healing, like, period. And I know that those that we're talking to are going to be doing more than that, because we know you and we know ourselves. But if that's all you do, you are shifting your emotional state and how you handle and your capacity to navigate situations. Like Lauren said, your child's going to feel that. Your family will feel that shift. And it's one of those things we just don't think of. It's like, well, I've got to help myself so I can help them. Well, by helping yourself, you are helping them.
Yeah. And it's the very thing we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Which is harming them in any way. Like,
right.
We want them to have the best lives. We want to have the best marriages and partnerships and relationships and work experiences. Oh my gosh, we haven't even talked about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Caregivers that are working as well,
yes.
and all of the things, right? And so we want that. And so we're trying to avoid our dysregulation pouring on them in any way extra than they're already dealing with. And yet, by not addressing our own and getting some support and some guidance in that, we're actually doing the very thing we're trying to avoid, which is the catch-22 in that. But there is relief. But before we talk about the relief, because relief is a big, big word for burnt out neurodivergent family caretakers and parents. Relief is that word that when you hear it, you just go, Like, yes, I need some relief. I need some relief. God, give me some relief,
Yes.
But before we mention that, I do want to touch on the collapse. Like,
Yes.
what happens? Yes, you're high capacity. Yes, you've been doing this for years. Yes, you think in your mind you can do this for many years more. You will never break down. Like, I'm saying you because I have been the you, like, and maybe the collapse does look invisible in some ways, like an autoimmune, like a something, something like an invisible illness, as they say, or pain, chronic pain or something. So maybe it is something you can kind of hide, and or maybe it does turn into something that you can no longer hide, and it is burnout, or maybe your coping mechanism turns into something that is more addictive, or et cetera, right?
Right.
The collapse, we've seen that.
Yeah.
And it is, Tiffany will speak to this even more than I, it is much harder to come back from the collapse
Yes.
than it is to start now where you're at right now, whether that's this far from collapse or whether that's this far from collapse.
Yeah.
It's worth starting to get that relief now.
Yes. Because the cool thing about our bodies and our brains, we have the ability to heal them and change. We can even change down to the DNA expression, which like totally like
Hey, look at that.
and if like
bring out the science. Tell
yes,
us.
because I'm going to. I can't help it. So we have this like amazing ability in our bodies to heal it and heal our brains of even just like negative thoughts. If you want to simplify it to negative thoughts and positive thought pathways in our brains, we have the ability to heal it. And if we can start sooner, then you have more of a runway into what your future is going to look like for yourself and for your family, because again, like we were saying, it automatically changes. And then like if you're still if you're a parent that is in the childbearing age range, if you're changing your DNA expression through the support and the help that you're getting, then that affects your child that you're going to birth, because you're changing generations because you're getting the help. So there's so much science behind this. I can't even
oh my gosh,
go too far into it. But
yeah, that's a whole nother live
generation. And yeah, that's another live. But you have the ability to change generations because you're changing your genetic makeup and your brain makeup and the way your body is responding to stress.
Wow.
Now it changes generations down the line.
And I'm wondering if you know about this, but going into perimenopause and going into menopause. I know I'm an older parent for a 6.5-year-old. And I'm an elder millennial. Now I'm taking that as a badge of honor now.
We both are.
Yes. And I'll speak for myself. Anyway, but and so I naturally would be starting to go into perimenopause and all of that. I actually just had a hysterectomy last fall, so I actually am in surgical menopause currently. But what I'm wondering is, for those that are following the natural course of hormone progression, and are entering perimenopause and or are older parents or caretakers and are in menopause or entering it, like I'm imagining it also shifts the hormonal makeup and well-being in that. And and if not, the burnout worsens it.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So if you get it now, like I like to call it, you can land the plane. It's still going to be hard. You might have some clouds of turbulence and stuff like that happens with hormonal changes. But again, there's so much research out there that says how much stress impacts hormone functioning. So you can give yourself a better like set of tools.
Flight.
Yeah, better flight. Yeah, smoother flight.
Like turn on the movie.
Yeah, through perimenopause and menopause. It's still going to be a little bit difficult. It's still going to be a little bit hard. But part of the work and support you do in navigating this is understanding what your body's telling you. And when we can understand what our body's telling us and not freak out, because I used to freak out every time my body would do something. Lauren can attest to this. I'll be like, what's happening? This is but
yeah, having a nurse practitioner as a mother has given me a lot of insight on the medical side.
Yes.
So a lot of friends come to me for information about that. Plus, I am a researcher. Actually, I have thought about going into the medical field so many times because the psychology and medicinal information is just so intertwined.
Yes.
And I know that's fascinating for you too. Again, another live, but it is important. The burnout conversation goes hand in hand with physical well-being.
Yes, exactly. And so you're able to have increased capacity. What happens when we work on like our nervous system and stress capacity, when we heal from it and we get these tools, then and we don't avoid, but we address the different things, your capacity naturally increases because your body's like, oh, I know what rest looks like. I know what it feels like. I know what it's like when we are stressed. And you know that, and you know what to do in
that's relief.
Cool.
Like hearing you say that makes me feel relieved to know ahead of time something that you're going to face, and then being able to acknowledge when it's happening and know what to do.
Yes, and have the tools and have the support. And even if you don't know what to do, you know who to call.
You know who to call. I like that. Yeah. Ghostbusters. No,
exactly.
I couldn't help it.
I know. It was in the board. I even heard it in my brain. I was like,
did you? I'll be here all week. Actually, just for the next 5 minutes. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. Okay. So what I did want to mention, because you said you were saying that all about basically the burnout and the effect on the parent. And I do want to bring that connection and why this integration between burnout, recovery, and neurodivergent family life coaching, like why that is so important together. We've connected a lot of dots there, but one is also the practical side of like, we have to go to IEP meetings and we have to find the right medical providers, and we have to, there's a have to list.
Yeah.
And, or there's a, you avoid it and don't do it, but that's not who we're talking to right now. So since we're talking to the people who feel that I have to do this, there's a list a mile long. The entering community is important.
Yes.
And that's where my story turned around, was that I nervously, because I come off to a lot of people as an extrovert. I am a little bit further on the introverts on the scale of introversion to extroversion. And so when it comes to like a small group setting, I do get a little anxious, and it is hard for me to enter a small group setting. And so I found out about this group that I could go to of moms with children with special needs, unique abilities, even physical disabilities, but very similar, a very similar community in the sense of we have the have tos. And so we need other people around us that know that feeling of the have to. So I bravely went to that group, and I have been there ever since, as often as I've been able to. So if you're in the local area of Pensacola, Florida, please, and you need a group to go to, first of all, I have that resource for you. Please let me know. We're always we're not exclusive. We're like, come on. However, it is on our radar as well to eventually have something to offer in that regard as well, to people we work with. But as of right now, I just want to mention that that's where it changed for me. And here's why: because people in that group were further along than me. And so I was able to learn from their experience. And so I was like, oh, okay. I'm listening to them talk, and I'm like, oh, let me type that in my phone. What they just said, I needed to know that. And they did that last year. And I was connecting these dots and putting these puzzle pieces together just by hearing their stories and their updates monthly. So that's a wild way to learn how to do things step by step, is having to get these pieces from other people. It was helpful. It's encouraged. However, it is not the most efficient way to do that. It is way more efficient to have somebody who can guide you on your own unique path forward, who can source the right providers for your child or your family. who can potentially, even if the ability is there, virtually or in person, go to an AEP meeting and advocate for you, or look through some paperwork for you that you're just like, this is Greek to me. We love Greek. I love Greek. I'm going with you. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to look through it with you, so my thing is we want to make sure that you see the integration of it being practical too, like on both sides, practical burnout recovery for you, and also practical navigation forward for you and your family and your child and what that looks like. Because when I started building my Neo team, is what I called it, because again, my kid's name is Neo. Like when I started building my Neo team, I had to build it one piece at a time, and it took years. And I am doing the work I'm doing today to try to save you that time and bring more efficiency to help you with that specifically. And so we're finishing up here, but I just wanted to touch on that too, that we can talk about your burnout, and we do a lot because that's the part that gets put last typically. So we wanted to put it first here. However, there is also that practical side of like, we just need to know when to do what and where and how and with whom. And that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tiffany, but in the state of Florida, we can help with that.
Yes, we can.
So it doesn't have to be here in Pensacola.
No.
Also, if
it can be statewide.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I wanted to point out too, real quick, is that it will collapse time.
Yes.
Often.
Instead of your collapse, we're collapsing time.
Exactly. And that we're kind of like accelerating the process, because anytime you're in community with anybody, anytime you receive support within this topic of burnout and neurodivergent family support, or outside, when you can talk to somebody and feel supported by somebody that has been there or is going through it or has knowledge to help you, it often automatically collapses time on moving the needle in your life. And
not to discourage people with, let's say, children further, that are older, but when you start in pre-K age group, like it just makes a world of difference to have already begun to be guided and to have partnership in that time frame.
Yes, exactly. And that's why we're here. We have created, I want to like segue into what Lauren and I have created, because we are so excited about this, is that we have created a 6-month burnout and neurodivergent family coaching container with the both of us. You get both of us.
You get both of us.
Yes. Yes. And I just wanted to share a little bit about why the 6 months, because often that's a question that can come up. It's like, oh, why is it 6 months? Do I have time for 6 months? Do I need to do 3 months? Da, 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 all this kind of stuff.
Right. It's hard for me to commit to next weekend, much less, 6 months. Right.
Exactly. So when you have 6 months of I think of like collectively, like I want to hold your hand and hold Lauren's hand over here, like we're holding hands together on your journey together. When you have 6 months, again, going back to the research, it takes our bodies and brains time to implement new things, and also to receive the support that we are getting. And so, sure, we could say we could do it in 3 months, but the reality of 3 months, it's like sometimes we're just getting started, just getting the brain rolling and really allowing the nervous system to calm down. And like, oh my gosh, I know Lauren and Tiffany now. Now I feel really supported. And it's like, okay. And then the back 3 months is like, all right, let's collapse that time. Let's go together. And, the common phrase of like, we get to go farther when we go together, it's always the case. And so that's why 6 months is part of our container, because all of the things I just said, we just want to ensure that you're getting, not like, I keep thinking like turn and burn for some reason, but you're not getting like, okay, a hit and go type of support.
We're not here to talk about that kind of trauma.
We just don't want, we want you to have quality in what you're getting, and we don't want to rush the process. We want it to stick. And we
just like when you put your kids in certain programs.
Exactly.
Like my kid went into therapy, a certain type of therapy, and they're like, we only do 6 months or more. So just so you know. And I mean, so it is a typical 6 months is literally, it's there for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it works.
Yeah. And the fun part about it is that the first part of this is that you get to meet with Lauren and I together. We do a relief map session, so that we can. Yes, it's our first call with you, and we get to kind of do the roadmap of like, okay, where are we going? What do we need? We assess what's going on, how we can support you, because everybody's situation is unique. There may be some similarities amongst clients that we've seen or that we see, but also we understand it's very individual to your child. It's very individual to you. It's very individual to your season of life that you're in. And we don't want to generalize.
Cookie cutter it.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to be really specific.
For sure. And so, that's our 6 months retainer. That's where we're going to start, is with that meeting together. We're going to get to do that call together and map that out with you personally and customized with you. And then we're going to rotate. So you're going to get 2 calls a month. We're going to rotate Tiffany and myself. And between that, we have some other resources that are available for you so that you are continuing your your journey through that 6 months in the mapped out way with structure. And I know that what we love is structure. We want structure. We want something we can go to and repeat to make our lives easier, not harder. Our lives are already hard. We want to ease your life with structure to bring relief. And so there's a lot of different ways we're going to be doing that. And we'll be rotating. And so you'll be seeing some of my face, some of her face along the way, and getting to learn and grow through this container. And so we're super excited about it. We're really excited about it. To offer it to you.
Yes.
It's called Real Relief. That's what we've called it. That's what we're calling it. It's official. Real Relief. That's what we're offering as Real Relief for those of you that are neurodivergent family caretakers, parents that are experiencing burnout. So we're happy to do that with you.
Yes.
Because you don't have to wait for collapse to deserve support.
Yes, you do. You deserve support. And I wanted to talk on that because I can hear it already in my brain. Because I've heard it before of people saying, well, I don't know, is this the time? We got support with the school. We've got support here. We've got support in these other areas. And I just want to say gently and encouragingly to give yourself permission to give support, to receive support now.
Yeah.
Like Lauren said, you don't have to wait to collapse. You deserve that support right now. And we are here, like open arms, providing that with you and for you.
Yeah. And if you want to have further conversation about even that part, our DMs are open about that as well.
Yes. And we will link more information in the comments. And we're happy to talk to you in any way and connect with you.
Yeah, and we're officially this container is open. Like we're ready, open. Right? Yeah. Okay. I'm just making sure. Yeah. So you can go ahead and start with us right away. Yes. This is like a now thing. Like we're not going to wait for your relief. You can get relief now. Right. I feel like an infomercial now. But wait, there's more. But yeah, no, we're open. We're open now with this, and we're excited. It's not like there are a lot of times where it's like, and so you're going to get on this wait list, and then you're going to do this. Nope. Like if you know while you've been listening and watching and talking with us today that we're speaking to you, like this is you already know. And I told Tiffany this, that like when somebody says that and I know it's me, I know it's me.
Yes.
And it is a much easier, yes, let me do this for myself. Like you said, let me give myself permission to do this.
Yes.
And so if that is you, you can go ahead and get started right away with us.
Yes, yes. And I think if I did it correctly, if you're on Instagram, there's a link somewhere down here.
Oh, really?
For it. If not, we'll pop the links in the comments. We'll put it in the stories. We'll make sure that it is out for you, so that you can go ahead and sign up. So I just want to thank you for being here, whether you're live, because we see a couple of you that have been here live, or that you are watching the replay, or maybe you're hearing this on the podcast, because we will put this on the podcast. We are so grateful for you to be here.
Yeah. And we're for you. And,
yes.
And we can't wait to see you relieved.
Yes. Yes. We are so excited. All right, you guys. Have a great.
This is fun. Tiff.
Yeah, this was fun.
More often.
I know. And we probably will.
Yes, absolutely. In the meantime, I got this dog back here that's probably been annoying you. So I'm going to go ahead and let him inside and say goodbye.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.